if this happens to you. News 4's consumer investigator Lindsey Bramson explains.
Tennessee had the fourth most frozen pipe claims compared to the rest of the country back in 2018. According to State Farm, over 800 claims were paid for winter water losses. The total payout for Tennessee claims last year was over $15 million. So know that if this does happen to you, you can get help from the state. Delta Airlines is issuing travel waivers ahead of the winter storm. Delta's waivers will be for 28 Northeast airports, including New York's LaGuardia and JFK airports. The weather could also impact Delta's hub in Atlanta, where possible snow and freezing temperatures could create icy conditions. The waiver will allow customers traveling to, from, or through specific cities to make a one-time change to their plans without a fee. And if you're looking for a reason to avoid the winter weather this week, Walmart is offering its grocery delivery service to anyone in Nashville for free. So here's how it works. You have to have a minimum $50 order online or through the mobile app. Then enter the code HOMEFREE at checkout. And Walmart will waive that delivery fee every time you use that code now until the end of the month. For the News 4 I-Team, I'm Lindsey Bramson.
And if you have story ideas or tips for Lindsey, send them to news@WSMV.com or straight over to Lindsey at the email address you see on your screen. All right, Lisa Spencer, everybody wants to hear about what you're tracking here. Let's talk about what's in the most immediate future in our Drive Before 5.
Well, the good news here is we're not seeing a great deal of issues. There are some areas, though, favored up here to the northeast where you want to be extra careful. Keep it slow, and also off to the west around Clarksville and back into Linden. But so far, things right here close in are looking pretty good. It's really mild, 54 degrees as you see around 5, southwest wind around 10 miles per hour, just a few showers out there. And then as we head right on over to 6 o'clock, 52 degrees, southwest wind, so kind of breezy if you've got one of those tall vehicles that may be shaking you around a little bit. And then as we go towards 7 o'clock, still cloudy, more showers around, and 48 degrees. I'll have more on our chances of snow coming up at 5.
Okay, Lisa, thanks. And thank you for spending the last hour with us here on News 4 at 4, but the coverage doesn't stop there. Tracy and Tom, you've got more headlines coming up at 5.
We do indeed, Lauren. Thank you so much, folks. Don't go anywhere. A Music City winter, not something you want to underestimate.
And if you've lived here a while, you know how fast forecasts and plans can change. Terry Bulger takes a look at that coming up.
Plus, a fiery crash could have been deadly if it weren't for a team of quick-thinking Tennessee cops, how they helped save the driver's life.
News 4 at 5, live with a forewarned weather alert.
And good evening, everyone. Arctic cold temperatures moving across the country and sweeping into Middle Tennessee.
Indeed, right now we are under a forewarned weather alert because of all the winter weather that bitter cold's going to bring. Let's get straight to our chief meteorologist, Lisa Spencer.
All right, so we are tracking those showers as we see them right here around the Cookeville area over to Jamestown, Clarksville, and back to Linden, all moving from the west to the east. This is all out ahead of this front, and behind that front is the much colder air. So Lafayette over to Gainesboro, we're seeing some of the showers there, and back to Dover. But when we look out to the bigger perspective, we have got rain all the way through here, and the snow is lagging behind. So that's one of the quick changes that we're seeing happen with this system. It is so incredibly warm right now. We are talking about temperatures for this time of year. 58 the high. It's 56 in Nashville, 56 degrees in Lebanon, and 51 as we sneak a peek there at Clarksville. So what it looks like will happen at this point is we will find that some of this cold air is going to be slow to get here. So it's not going to have as easy a time catching up to the moisture. Therefore, much less snow is in the forecast. And there are some folks east of I-65 that have the best chance to see that snow, and we'll track that through time coming up with the full forewarned forecast.
You will, Lisa. Thanks. All right, TDOT trucks filled with brine are getting a jump on tomorrow's weather. News 4's Forrest Sanders is at TDOT right now. And Forrest, what areas are crews most concerned about tonight?
Well, they're looking after everybody, but the crews tell us that in particular they are concentrating on the southern part of the state. They say starting around Murfreesboro and then going down to those counties that are along the Alabama line. Now, a rep for TDOT says the biggest concern for all of us is going to be rush hour tomorrow morning. They say they're doing all they can now to prevent any problems. The TDOT rep says there shouldn't be enough rain tonight to wash away the brine they put down. As for salt, the rep says they'll have the trucks ready.
go out and start applying salt as soon as the temperature starts dropping, as soon as the rain slows down a little bit, to get that layer of salt on. And it can really give us a jump when the temperatures drop and things start to freeze.
So the salt that we're talking about, some of it is just right over there, and next to it right here, this is where trucks have been filling up with brine. But salt and brine, this is not the only work that TDOT has been taking care of today. They have also been going out and fixing potholes. Tom and Tracy.
All right, Forrest, thanks so much. Due to the low temperatures, Metro officials are opening their emergency cold shelter overnight. Now, this shelter is for people who do not have any other options to get out of the cold. The emergency shelter is at Shelby Park Community Center. It's going to open up at 7 tonight through 8 tomorrow morning. Now is the time to download our Forewarn weather app. You're going to receive alerts when winter weather advisories or warnings pop up in your area.
Two 17-year-olds are in custody tonight after a high-speed chase ends in Antioch. Police say the driver, Diego Torres, is wanted in an attempted homicide case. Now, the chase went from Briley Parkway to I-40. They took the Hermitage exit from there. They sped over to Bell Road across the Percy Priest Dam, and then this whole thing ultimately ended on Antioch Pike. News 4's Edward Birch live on the scene there in Antioch. And Edward, Metro Police, they have been looking for this guy, Torres, for almost 2 weeks now.
And Tracy, they say the Juvenile Crime Task Force was instrumental in tracking him down to South Nashville, but he led them on a chase that ended right behind me. Right where that pole is where he lost control after hitting the spike strips. Torres and the passenger that was with him got out of the car, took off running to that tree line before police caught up with them and arrested them. They found a pistol inside the car, which police believe Torres used in other crimes.
A stolen vehicle, a gun, and a 17-year-old. None of those three things mix.
Around 11:30 this morning, an undercover officer was checking out a motel on Harding Place looking for Torres.
Diego Torres has been known to the police department for a period of years. And you can't say that about most teenagers.
The officer spotted Torres driving a silver Honda coming out of the motel parking lot. The car was stolen in West Nashville on January 20th.
The owner had gone out on a cold morning, started it to warm up, went back inside. They saw an easy opportunity.
The 17-year-old passenger with Torres was taken to the hospital for chest pains. Police believe Torres may be connected to other crimes in South Nashville.
We need to figure out where he's been since the 17th, what he's been doing with that gun, and what he's been doing with other persons.
Now, the name of that 17-year-old passenger is not being released just yet by police. They do expect him to be charged with something. However, the pursuit that happened today, I asked police about it, and the fact that it went through several residential areas and really covered a wide range of locations across Nashville. And they say that there's several things that they consider, whether or not the weather and the road conditions allow for it, if there's a certain amount of traffic. And they said all the conditions really allowed them to be able to continue this pursuit and get their man. Tom and Tracy.
So glad they did, Edward. Thank you very much. And yet another 17-year-old in the news tonight. He's been arrested in what police are calling car hopping burglaries. Car hopping is when suspects go through your neighborhood or your parking lot, checking to see if car doors are unlocked. Then they steal those cars or trucks. They use those to drive to other areas to help continue their car hopping. Police say the teenager was connected to 3 stolen vehicles and burglaries.
A 6-year-old girl is dead and her mom is recovering from third-degree burns tonight. Hickman County officials say a wood stove set a family's home on fire early this morning. Now, this is a little over an hour southwest of downtown Nashville. 6 people were inside. The father and 2 young children made it out safely. The 6-year-old was killed and her mom was burned on her feet, legs, and hands trying to save her daughter's life.
I cannot even begin to imagine the pain that they're going through right now. I pray for them. I pray for the community.
Fire crews actually had to use tanker trucks filled with water to help put out the flames because there's no water source nearby. Right now, the mother is being treated at Vanderbilt University Medical Center.
That is heart-wrenching. All right, a driver has been charged in a deadly construction zone crash. This in Clarksville. Police say 31-year-old Justin Clark was high on marijuana when he crashed his lift truck. That crash was off Riverside Drive and College Street. Look at these pictures from the scene. Clark is accused of hitting a patrol car and then hit those 2 work lifts you see here in the background. They had men on them. 5 men were taken to the hospital. 1 of them died. Clark now faces several charges, including vehicular homicide. Right now, you can sign your teenagers up to learn how to drive safely from Metro officers. Metro hosting a free driver awareness class on Saturday. Teens will get behind the wheel training that focuses on impaired driving and distracted driving, something we could all get lessons in, right? The class is February 16th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Drive safe for Metro officers. That means drive safely, right? Not just trying to get away. Okay. All right. Been to Bellevue lately, folks? You might not recognize it. The place is booming with new business, but there is one new addition that homeowners aren't exactly excited about. News 4's Carly Gordon is live in Bellevue to show us where. Carly?
Well, it's this building on Highway 70 right next to the Goodwill. You've probably seen it. It's hard to miss that bright orange roof. This is going to be a Tennessee Quick Cash, and now property values are just one thing people worry about. It's like Bellevue got injected with Green Hills. There are new restaurants and stores, and people have lots of nice things to say.
The convenience of it, everything is all together.
It's what Drone 4 shot from above that has residents concerned.
We don't need another cash advance. I'm against them.
Soon this will be a Tennessee Quick Cash, the kind of place that gives people loans at high interest rates. Research presented at Metro Council shows these types of places can have detrimental effects on local property values, and they cause consumers to get trapped in a cycle of debt.
We don't want them to cluster in an area.
There is another one called Advanced Financial right up the street, but Councilman Sherry Weiner says the good news is this Tennessee Quick Cash is moving into the new building, so it's not like Bellevue is getting a third.
So they will not be coexisting whatsoever.
Weiner also says she can't stop a legal business from opening up shop.
If there is somebody that wants to move into an area and that property, in this case the building, and the land is already zoned for this, I can't go in and say, no, we don't want you, we're going to rezone it out from under you.
Now, we reached out to Tennessee Quick Cash for comment and never heard back. And I should mention there is an ordinance that prevents one cash advance establishment from being within 1,000 feet of another. That's designed to stop all of them from opening up in the same part of town. Tom, Tracy.
Good information tonight, Carly. Thank you. Today, Governor Bill Lee met with 9 departments to talk budgets. Department commissioners will present their own budgets along with proposals for spending increases and reductions. Some of the departments he met with today include Human Services, Labor and Workforce Development, and Tourism. Federal employees are back on the payroll, at least for now.
That's right. The deal only goes until February 15th, as we've been reporting. Until then, though, Republican and Democratic leaders will have to work to come up with a border security proposal. If lawmakers can't come up with a plan that funds a border barrier, the president says he may declare a national emergency and direct the Defense Department to start building a wall. Even though that shutdown is over, experts say there could be a lasting impact from the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the U.S. economy lost about $11 billion during the 5-week shutdown. It delayed $18 billion in federal spending. However, they do expect about $8 billion to be recovered as folks get back to work.
Well, things are on their way back to normal just in time for us to think about taxes. To kick off the season, United Way is making certain you have all the help you need. They're offering free tax help across 4 counties starting today. This is the 15th year they've helped Tennesseans. Individuals and families who earn less than $66,000 in 2018 are eligible. Now, you can get help through April 15th at 26 different sites in Davidson County, Williamson County, Wilson County, and Rutherford County. Just go to our News 4 app to find the closest location. Starting in February, the AARP Foundation will also help with tax preps. Nearly 35,000 volunteers will help low to moderate income taxpayers at 5,000 locations across the country. There's no fee, and you do not have to be an AARP member to get help.